We are at Super Bowl Radio Row. I'm learning a lot of things. By the way, I saw Coleridge Stroud walk by earlier today. I said, "You're still cold." He gave me a look. But nevertheless, Joe Cullen, Wink Martindale, the Michigan football defensive coordinator search. Cullen no longer a candidate for the job. I'll let you know what happened between him and Sherrone Moore and why that happened. Wink Martindale, on the other hand, he is in Ann Arbor as we speak here Thursday afternoon, coming up on 5 o'clock Eastern time. He might be wrapping up his interviews right now. What you might be surprised about is who he's actually being interviewed by, and it's not just Sherrone Moore. So you have to watch later in the show. We'll tell you all about what's happening right now in Ann Arbor with Wink Martindale. And then later in the show, to wrap it up, we have Ronnie Bell, 49ers player, 49ers wide receiver Ronnie Bell, talk about what Jim Harbaugh told him and other Michigan football players a year ago, 2 years ago, about his NFL aspirations and what him and J.J. McCarthy have talked about this season during the 2023 national title run. We are in Las Vegas. It's the Michigan Football Report. All those stories and more. Let's get it going right now. All right, let's X together. If you guys have yet to follow me, I'm at Twitter, aka X, at James Yoder. I'll put the link down in the comments in the description. Next 10 people after 5:15 Eastern on Thursday. Next 10 people will follow me. I'm giving you a follow back. And then on the show either tomorrow or next week when I'm back in Dallas, I will feature the first 10 people to follow me back on X. So let's X together at James Yoder. Follow along on this Las Vegas Super Bowl journey that me and 4 of the other guys at Chat Sports are endeavoring on as we speak. But it's Joever, folks. It is Joever, the meme from, President Biden, but Joe Cullen, right? A man who's got 3 DUIs, so I think there was going to be some personnel or just, issues with coaching college kids. Right? It was 18 years ago. He's been sober apparently since there, but was apparently Sherrone Moore's top defensive coordinator candidate. Has been getting serious interest from NFL teams, most notably Mike Macdonald and the Seahawks. He has communicated to all teams, Michigan and Sherrone Moore included, that he wants to wait till after the Super Bowl to have any conversations about a next job for him. So it really doesn't line up with Sherrone Moore's timeline, apparently. And I think Moore probably took and read the tea leaves that, hey, the Seahawks, Mike Macdonald, they might even have some insight in there. I'm sure Sherrone and Mike Macdonald have a strong relationship. If Cullen's going to get NFL defensive coordinator offers, which it might be the Seahawks, so you might have a Michigan connection there, then Sherrone Moore doesn't need to waste his time, doesn't need to wait till after the Super Bowl. He can move forward with other candidates as we speak. So it's Joever for Joe Cullen. He will not be Michigan's defensive coordinator. My bet is that he ends up being the DC for the Seahawks. Steve Clinkscale, though, Michigan's co-DC, but not really the true play caller. It's like a co-DC in title only. Defensive backs coach. He is staying, announced to his defensive players yesterday, late into the evening, that he will not go to LA, will not look for another job. He will return for another season as Michigan's co-defensive coordinator, but won't be the true play caller for the Wolverines. So very good, excellent recruiter, ace recruiter, and certainly I think it has a good potential job of keeping Will Johnson around long term, and not giving him the idea that maybe he would leave the program and transfer elsewhere. So Sherrone Moore, keeping Steve Clinkscale at Michigan is, the really biggest story that is news, because if they had lost Mike Ellison and Clinkscale, I think these defensive stars on Michigan's team going into 2024, a few of them might have started to look around, see what else is out there potentially in the transfer portal, if basically everybody from that defensive coaching staff is leaving. Had a lot of conversations with fans, with people here at Radio Row, just what's Mike Sanderson's future in the NFL. A lot of people projecting him as a second-round pick at the worst, maybe sneak into the first round. I think he had a better career at Michigan than Aiden Hudson. And you might say, you're crazy, James. Hudson, number 2 in the Heisman, number 2 pick in the NFL draft, NFL star. But who is the more impactful player as a Wolverine? Let me know what you guys think. I'm putting MS. Let me know. Mike Sanderson, Aiden Hudson, down in the comments, MS or AH. Want to see what you guys think on this one. But the wink is landed right here, right? Well, it might be a meme. I might have to get a shirt of just someone winking. That'd be a new merch here. Wink Martindale is in Ann Arbor as we speak. Thursday afternoon, if all goes well, as you see about on the screen, a hire could happen today. Now, who is he interviewing with? Surely Steve Clinkscale, right? Co-defensive coordinator potentially. Sherrone Moore, that's an obvious. I'm sure some guys on the offensive coaching staff as well. But that's not it, and that is not all. You're definitely going to want to hear about who else he's interviewing with on campus at Michigan today. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's tell you about Prize Picks, right? The big game. It's coming up in 3 days, and PrizePicks is the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. You just pick more or less on player stats they put in front of you to win up to 25 times your money. This week for the big game, I have some picks that I want to talk to you guys about. They got a special right now, Patrick Mahomes. It's a half pass yard. You see it crossed off there, 265.5. No, it's a half passing yards. So clearly, that's like a freebie there. We're going more. As long as he plays, he's going to get a half passing yards. How about Isaiah Pacheco? I'm going more than half a touchdown rushing or receiving. And then Brock Purdy, big boop. Blank, or big blank. What's it, big? Yeah, Brock Purdy. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to do it with like the beep, but I kind of forgot where that was. Nevertheless, he's got a big one. It rhymes with Brock. I'm going more than 248.5 passing yards in this game. I get those 3 right, and really, it's just only 2. I am in the money big time. PrizePicks makes daily fantasy easy. It's the only daily fantasy app that I use. I've loved it this entire season, and was never a big daily fantasy player prior to that. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS for up to $100 deposit match bonus when you make your first deposit with PrizePicks. Get going. Get it happening for the big game on Sunday and all throughout the NFL and college football offseason leading into 2024. Link is down in the comments and the description of today's Michigan Football Report. So it is not just Sherrone Moore and other coaching staff members for Michigan, or even Ward Mandrill or anybody like that. Speaking of Ward Mandrill, new chairman of the playoff committee, whatever it is, leading the college football playoff committee into 2024. Hope they'd steal him away from Michigan, but nevertheless. Mason Graham, right? Mason Graham, Will Johnson, Kenneth Grant, and others, Michigan defenders, are having their opportunity to talk to Wink Martindale about what kind of defense he's going to run, right? He was kind of the godfather, right? Defensive coordinator, 2017, 18, 19, 20, or 2018, 19, 20, 21, was with the Ravens for a decade. He should know this defense inside and out. I know he's been fired from 3 jobs as defensive coordinator over his tenure as an NFL coach, way back in 2010 with the Broncos, with the Ravens for 10 seasons, then let go as defensive coordinator after 2021. Spent the last 2 years in New York with the Giants. But nevertheless, I think this gives Kenneth Grant, Will Johnson, right, Mason Graham, it gives these players some ownership. And you see, Kenneth Grant, he's a guy that people have been saying, hey, he's following all kinds of players from different schools, coaches. He might be somebody that says, hey, I want that $500,000 NIL deal that Michigan's not showing love to go to Ole Miss or LSU or Texas or anything like that. So I like what we have here. I think it's a great move by Sherrone Moore, getting these guys involved, getting them ownership in who Michigan picks as their next defensive coordinator. Kind of feel that ownership, less likely to potentially transfer, is at least what I take. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, by the way, as we are blowing past 31,000, on our way to 32,000 subscribers. It is youtube.com/MichiganTV. Send that link to a friend. It's always down in the comments, always down in the description. Send it to a friend who loves the Wolverines as much as you do. Now, we caught up with Ronnie Bell out here at Super Bowl 58, Super Bowl week. He is with the 49ers. He's didn't get a chance to win the national championship in Michigan, had to leave a year too early, but has a chance to do so as a rookie with the 49ers. We talked to him about Jim Harbaugh, right? When did Harbaugh tell Michigan players about his NFL aspirations? What him and J.J. McCarthy talked about all during this 2023 Michigan football season. But before we do, let's get the vibe of the Michigan football audience. Who are you rooting for? Not who you think's going to win, not anything like that. Who are you rooting for to win this game? I'm rooting for the 49ers. I'm rooting for the 49ers. Let me know down in the comments. Who are you rooting for, 49ers or Chiefs? Here's Ronnie Bell talking some Michigan football from the Super Bowl.
You were part of some really great Michigan teams. Yes, to see Michigan finally win the Natty, I was there in Houston. It got lit. What did that mean to you as a guy who played there and got so close?
Yeah, no, very special. That group of guys, being a part of them for the last 5 years, and to see that whole thing come to fruition, especially with Coach Harbaugh going out with a bang like that, and my little brother being a freshman up there now, so him, being able to be a part of that, and I feel like, man, go blue forever, man. It made me so happy.
Did you have any communication with some of your former teammates? I imagine you did, and if so, what was that like?
I about to say, I talked to JJ a little bit, the same thing that I always told him before our games whenever we were about to go to war with one another. And, one thing I always made sure that I reminded him, is I told him the world was his. And, he went out there this year and definitely took it, and so I thought that was really cool and a kind of full fruition moment again whenever I got to have that conversation with him again towards the end of the year.
A lot of rumblings over the last couple of years about Jim Harbaugh going to the NFL. He comes back to Michigan, wins a title at his alma mater. Now he goes to the Chargers. What do you make of him going back to the NFL?
Yeah, I feel like it was just a matter of time. I know it was last year or 2 years ago whenever it was like, oh, he might go. He sat down with the whole team and he told us, the one thing that keeps him up at night is that he's never won a Super Bowl. So we always knew, like, eventually he would go back. So I'm really happy for Coach, and I'm really excited to see what he does with the Chargers. I know that they got to hit gold with him for sure.
Lastly, can you say, I'm Ronnie Bell and you're watching the Michigan Football Report?
That's right. I'm Ronnie Bell and you're watching the Michigan Football Report.
My man. Thank you so much. Good luck, man.
That's Ronnie Bell, and you are watching the Michigan Football Report. Thanks to our Chase Senior. Catching up with him. It was awesome being out there at meeting night on Monday. Talked to a ton. I talked to Brian Greasy. If you haven't checked that out on my Twitter account from the other night, I asked him, hey, like anybody could imagine, was he maybe rooting against Michigan so he'd always be remembered as the last quarterback to lead him to a national title? His answer might surprise you. Go check out my Twitter account from Monday night. Follow back the next 10 people who follow me. It's at James Yoder on X. Make sure you guys follow me. Link is down in the comments and the description. That's all for today's show. Thanks so much to Jeremy Chugs, filling in for Jack, filling in for Sam. Go Blue.